Mila was a young Philippine woman from the village of San Martin. She was walking home through the dense forest at night, and the uncomfortable silence made her heart pound. She started walking a bit quicker, but when she did, the noise of the leaves under her feet sounded too loud. Then, out of nowhere, she heard a howl echoing through the trees, and her blood ran cold. She noticed something moving in the shadows, and it was moving really weird, but it was only a dog. Or was it? She heard stories of something that could transform into animals and would stalk humans before attacking them. She wasn't going to take any chances, so she turned and ran. But when she did, she could hear the leaves crunch as the dog ran after her. She was able to get to her house, but when she did, she felt this urge to look over her shoulder. The dog was gone, but where the dog should have been was a tall, thin woman. Mila's heart pounded in her chest and she stumbled into her house, slamming the door behind her. That night, Mila could only shake in fear from the encounter and clutch a rosary and whispered prayers. So, what was it that Mila encountered? Well, she encountered an Aswang. The Aswang is a creature from Philippine folklore and is considered one of the most feared and well-known monsters in the country's mythology. The legend of the Aswang can be found all over the Philippines. It's so infamous, in fact, that there's different regions that have their own versions and descriptions of the Aswang. Like you saw with Mila's story, Aswangs are shapeshifters. They will normally transform into dogs, pigs, and bats, but they can also transform into a regular human being during the day. By night, though, they reveal their true forms to hunt. They're usually said to have a long proboscis-like tongue and have a ghastly, nightmarish appearance when in their true monster forms. Aswangs are flesh eaters and are known for preying on humans and animals. Horrifyingly enough, they are infamous for targeting pregnant women and eating unborn fetuses. In some stories, they use their elongated tongues to suck the blood or the fetus out of a pregnant woman. They are also believed to have a liking for eating corpses and normally rob graves and funerals of their dead. The Aswang legend can be traced way back to pre-colonial times in the Philippines. The legend probably started as part of the old Philippine beliefs and later blended in some Spanish witchcraft stuff that came during the colonial times. The Aswang myth served different purposes, from explaining miscarriages and other bad luck to keeping people in line morally and socially. In today's world, the belief in the Aswang can change throughout the Philippines. While folks in cities usually see these stories as just superstition, there are still some rural areas that strongly believe in this creature. The Aswang holds a pretty big spot in Philippine folklore, literature, and media. It's got a real deep impact on the culture because it's not just some made-up animal, but a symbol of the mysteries, creepy parts of life, and culture in the Philippines. Luckily though, the Aswang has a few weaknesses. Like traditional vampires, they are weak to garlic, religious symbols, daytime, and strong lights in general. They also have a few other interesting weaknesses, like bamboo, spears, salt, and stingray tails. They can also be killed by cutting the head off, praying, and whipping it with a stingray tail. Even with all these weaknesses though, it can be safely said that the Aswang is one of the most disturbing legendary creatures from around the world.